got mail. Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour or so, along with Katie.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Gal is here.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Nick is not going to be here today, and Spence is still in Alaska, probably for another week or two. Our numbers 919-518-9773, Computers 2K voice on Skype. I need to start weaning myself off of this Skype. Today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Yeah,
You
it's good.
can,
But
I think for like a one-time fee,
yeah,
you can probably migrate that number to Google Voice, and we don't need Skype anymore.
well, I mean, no, it's not a matter of not needing Skype. I'm not going to be able to use Skype after May, after the beginning of May,
True.
because they're doing away with it. So I have to switch something. Um, how that'll be interesting. I did not consider Google Voice. Um, if you are on, you're using Google Voice, right?
Yep.
What happens if you're on a call and somebody else calls you? When I used Google Voice years ago, it, the reason why we left it is because if you are on a call and somebody else calls in, it knocked off the first caller and it was ringing for the second caller. And
No, that never happened. I mean, I use it daily. That never happened.
okay, so maybe that's fixed. So, and what is the,
Maybe when it was Grand Central before, like a long, long time ago. But
this is years ago before you didn't need any adapter or anything. It was all on the computer.
yeah,
It's in the very
it's
beginning.
pretty much the same way today, right? I use it either on the computer or I use it on the phone app. That's how I use
Okay,
it.
so when you're talking about that one-time fee, it's just supporting the number.
Just they have a fee for the number port. Otherwise, it's completely free.
Okay, and
They make their money from international calling. So,
okay, um, how much space does it take on the screen? Is
How
it
much
it's a
space?
is
browser
it
window.
is it just a browser window? Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
okay. What were you saying, Katie?
No, I was confused as like how much space?
Uh,
Well, I mean, remember, I use it on that laptop that has the Skype. It has the uh,
okay, so
jingle.
funny. I just mentioned the Arc browser,
Yeah.
right? So with
Hmm.
the Arc browser, you could put it side by side with whatever you want. So you don't even.
Well, I mean, I have three windows open
Yeah.
Ooh,
on.
Mr. Fancy with 3 windows.
It's been like this from day one. It's just for monitoring.
Yeah.
Okay, so and when a call comes in, and if you use it on the computer, if you're in front of the computer, is there still like a list, a calling list, and who is calling?
I mean, it identifies the number.
Okay,
It
okay,
yeah. You
that's
can
it. Yeah,
set
caller
you
ID.
can set the you can set the
That's
speaker that the ringer will go to separately than where the caller will come to.
okay.
So yeah, and
So
all that is configured from the browser.
so for using it on the computer, you don't need a terminal adapter
No, nothing.
like the OB high thing.
No, I have OB High at home, but
To
I mostly use it from the computer.
yeah, okay. Well,
I mean, the microphone is way more like
Yeah.
the
Oh
voice
yeah. Sure.
the voice
Sure.
quality is way more
Yeah.
nicer.
All right. Okay. Well, that will be. I mean, I need to make a few changes here. That laptop needs to go to Windows 10. It's on Windows 7. Look at your face. Oh,
At least you don't need to go through Windows 8.
yeah. Yeah, and the reason is because I cannot get a newer version of Firefox. Remember, everybody, if you're using Windows 7, a lot of people are still using Windows 7 because they have a real old computer. Just remember that uh, those browsers, not just the operating system is vulnerable, but the browser will do all kind of weird things.
But I thought you already upgraded to Windows 10.
This laptop is the one that Skype is on is the last computer here with Windows 7. I
Hmm.
mean, it works. It does what it's supposed to do. I turned it on before a show. I turned it off after a show.
No,
So
I understand. I'm not
yeah,
like berating you or anything. I
I
was just
think
surprised that you still have it.
I think it has. It's a laptop with 2 gig of RAM. I think I don't remember, but there was a reason why I didn't upgrade. I don't remember. I don't remember why. Oh, and it has also the another reason was the connections. It has the what do you call it? The Sony connectors for the microphone and for the speaker, not in one. It's two separate ones, which connects to the mixer and all that. So if I go with the computer that has, let's say, just USB for the sound, I'm going to have completely rewiring and reconfiguring stuff that I don't want to bother with. So this was great. It's got the two separate connections and it
Yeah,
worked.
but even if you have just a single connection, it's usually just a splitter.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I need to see what other computers I have. I mean, laptop, old laptop I have. 'Cause, I mean, there's no reason to get a new computer for that. But
I
we'll
should
see.
have.
I've got about 4 or 5 of them. I just need to
Oh,
find
come
one
on.
that
Yeah.
that
I forgot who I was talking with for a second. Sorry.
don't you dare forget.
Don't ever forget.
Yeah, don't ever forget. So you were mentioning the Arc browser.
Yeah, I mentioned it I think last week,
Yeah,
and
it was
and
like a by the way.
I've it's been growing on me. So yeah, I mean, I was surprised that first of I've tried. I'm trying. hmm, Going back, I usually try like everything that I can put my hands on tool wise, right? Software tool wise. Uh, so browsers, I've tried most of them. I've tried a lot of the Chrome based. I tried Vivaldi. I tried, and usually I go back to Firefox. The only time there was a rather long period of time where I didn't use Firefox, and that was before they switched to the WebKit engine. It became a bloated mess, and their memory manager was terrible for like a few years. And so loading it and the way I use it, it would basically either crash or just freeze or too much hassle
Mhm.
in that term. When they changed the architecture, uh, it was lean again. It was quick, and with their container tab containers, um, that was the killer feature that no other browser came near to it. When I needed to use Chrome, I would use Edge, basically, just because uh, it was a rather lean implementation of the Chromium base, and switching off all of most of the Microsoft specific solution there. It was a very good browser, and it had vertical tabs. Firefox for a long time didn't have vertical tabs.
Right.
Since the architecture changed. I've found a way of getting vertical tabs on Firefox through an extension. It's a hybrid. It uses the sidebar, and actually a couple of weeks or a month ago, Firefox finally introduced native virtual tabs.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as nice as the extension does. It gives control, but
What do you mean? What control that you're talking? I mean, tabs to me, you just look at them and you switch between them. What
so
else?
vertical tabs,
Yeah.
right? Our screens today are wider than they are taller, right? Because of
Right.
the aspect rate, we're using widescreen screens. So, um, and let's face it, mm, most people who work daily in front of the computer, they have more than 10 tabs open. Okay. There's just no way of hiding it. I
My
know.
coworker has, no joke, 200 tabs open. Like, it's insane.
Sheesh.
I have. So here's the thing about tabs, right? Uh, in a way, the way people use them today is most akin to bookmarks.
Yeah, that's
Right?
how he uses it.
I don't. I
And
don't.
the browsers have evolved to actually understand that. So Firefox, uh, I think Firefox comes with that switched on out of the box. Edge does it as well out of the box. On Chrome, you actually need to switch a function somewhere, and it will treat that way. And what it does is the moment a background tab stays on for a while, it goes into something it's called they call it suspended mode or sleep mode, and it just it just unloads from active memory most of the tab, just uh, keeps the URL, keeps some graphics about it, and keeps uh, a bit of the state that will allow it to revive as if it just as if we just left it. And so it's like this very quick bookmark, right? The moment we'll switch to it, the rendering will be rather quick because everything uh, uh, is suspended in memory, but the active code of the website, that has been offloaded, and it doesn't consume a lot of memory, right? I On the last Firefox instance, I had probably more than 500 bookmarks open, and the reason they're 500 is because I had also had them segregated into different regions. So I would visit, if I'm doing work mode stuff, then I'm focusing probably on 10 to 20 tabs. If I'm on shopping tab, then I I have the stuff that I've been shopping for, or I have the website at least that I frequent, and they're there. And if I'm in bill paying mode, then I'm using the 20, 30 tabs that I'm doing, and they're all. I never really close them because they're already set up in a hierarchy and in a way that I can work. Now, that's just about how the browser manages tabs, right? But what I do is I use virtual tabs. And as I said, our screens are wider than they are taller. So it is important to have, I do not maximize the window to my screen because the screen is large, right? It's the 43-inch TV, and so I
You set it
have the
for
list.
yourself to be comfortable to watch and
Right.
yeah.
And not only that, with a lot of tabs, an icon isn't enough, especially if that icon is for the same website, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so with a list, it doesn't need to be a long description. I don't need the full title of the website, but the list helps organize it because I can get some of the websites, like what page I'm at. And not only that, with smart extensions that allow you to manage that, and that's where my interaction comes with, I can actually rename that tab, right, and give it a name of my own. And so it's more of a change in workflow and concept. So yeah, if you would have asked me 4 years ago how many tabs I would have kept open, then I would usually keep around 10, right? Because I knew of the load that it has on the system, and I would heavily bookmark.
Right.
Today, I don't bookmark so much. I bookmark probably, I would say, there are 15 bookmarks that are important to me, and they're mostly deep into some website, right? Like I don't need the top of the website. That part I know how to type the address and get there, but like deep into like I don't know, the HOA payments status, right? Someplace I need to do like 15 clicks in order to get there. Uh, that's saved as a bookmark, and that is one that I frequent. Most other stuff, they would just I'll just keep them open. So
Well,
now, the Arc browser, they're doing something different a bit. I do not know what their end goal is because right now they're not charging any money. They're not, it doesn't even seem that they are collecting a lot of metadata, but it does require an account, which is a put off actually. Uh, but later on, I understood why they wanted that account. They are doing something. So instead of just sharing a link with someone, you can actually share a browser state, like a set of tabs, or um, or a tab with annotation and stuff like that. So they have that part, and so that's why it requires an account because they need some online way of making that shareable and to allow you to edit it later. So there's that aspect, but and I don't use that. That part doesn't interest. But the visual style of the browser is really clean. Uh, it is vertical tab based, but it also has the concept of spaces and profiles. So not only spaces, profiles, just like Chrome can do multiple profiles. It allows here multiple profiles, but instead of just completely separate windows, you can assign it to separate spaces. You can have multiple spaces and you can have multiple profiles and assign spaces to them. You can play mix and match with those. And it it mimics a bit the Firefox containers implementation. So there's that separation between areas of your browser, uh, cookies, storage, memory, stuff like that is completely separated between these profiles, and it allows you to focus on work better. It has very nice split screen splitting options, which make it clean. Uh, it has some niceties about. I mean, how many times have you tried sharing? So, how many clicks does it take to share a website with a colleague, right?
How many
So
clicks
first,
does it take to get to the center of the website?
that too. But if you just need to send the link, right? you need to go to the address bar. You right click, you copy it, and then you go. And here the bar is basically when you click it, it's copied. The bar itself has changed. It's actually in the center of the screen. It'll show up in the center of the screen. That's a bit. That's something that I'm disoriented with a bit.
You
But
mean it's
there's something in the
superimposed?
workflow that has changed that makes it simplified as well. So
Wait, is it is it in the center of the screen or at the
as a
top
pop-up, it shows up
center?
at no, it shows up as a pop-up.
Wow. Okay.
It's out of the way most of the time. When you need it, it's there.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the UI is clean. Uh, Look,
Well,
I feel like I don't know how we talked about the browser for 20 minutes. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure people
Well,
want
I
to hear
mean,
about something else,
it
but
looks like
it's
yeah.
something
We'll
worth
switch
testing.
in a minute. But what they did probably is they created a lot of options that people wanted in others, and there were extensions, and there were this and
They
that,
have
and
they have done nothing new.
yeah.
Okay, it's just the way they combine the things. Okay, so
Okay. All right.
it's an interesting browser. It's new. It's probably clunky. I can tell you that it works better on Mac than it is on Windows because I've using them on both. Uh, but it's pretty on par. Um,
Okay.
just something to keep an eye on. Know
All
that
right.
there's
We'll
another
see.
option.
As I mean, you keep us posted as you get more
If
used
there's
to it,
something
and yeah,
interesting
yeah.
that comes up with it later, I'll definitely
Okay.
update. Yeah.
All right. So now listen to this. There's a new. You talking about copying to the clipboard and stuff. There's a very bad uh, malware out there that works both. It's social engineer, so to speak, and technical. Uh, when I'm thinking about most of our listeners that probably will not fall for it, but a lot of people are falling for it. And what they do is you are you're on a website and somehow they hijack your clipboard and they put something in it from that website. They just copy something to the clipboard. Then, and it happens when you try to log in somewhere. And then you see a pop up that says, to better prove you are not a robot, please press and hold the Windows key plus R. So, I mean, you used to click I'm not a robot. So say, okay, they want an extra thing. So people go for it and click the Windows R. In the verification window, press Control V. So what does it do at this point? It
Yeah.
copies what they put on the clipboard. And then press enter on your keyboard to finish. And you will see, you will observe and agree that I'm not a robot. ReCAPTCHA verification ID 8253 and perform the steps above to finish verification. So what they do is they put something in there that creates a keylogger and all kind of other
Yeah.
malware that, and you are telling your computer to do that. It's really smart. I mean, clever way of doing it, but the people that fall for it, unfortunately, people who are not technical and people that are very vulnerable to a lot of the other
Yeah.
malware methods that are out there. So no, don't ever do a Windows R. Never. I mean, if you are not a technical guy, there is no reason to do a Windows R. There's no reason for you to run a command.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's and I'm saying to myself, why don't the browsers do something that protects against somebody putting something in on the clipboard without your permission or without you doing it actually, like Control V. Control C, I should say. But apparently there's a reason. So yeah, these guys are really up on their bad stuff. Yep. Um, there was a lot of talk going around at HP bricking printers and things. So a class action suit filed in December 2020 alleged HP wrongfully compels users to buy only HP ink by issuing updates that block competitors' cartridges. Under a settlement, HP admits no wrongdoing and won't pay monetary damage to affected customers, though it will pay $5,000 each to the three plaintiffs. So there were three people that sued. That's not bad for them. But listen to this, and 725,000 in attorney's fees.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, the
HP,
attorneys win
yeah,
as usual.
HP has agreed to allow users of specific printer models impacted by the November 2020 update to decline firmware updates containing dynamic security features. HP term for technology that blocks cartridges using non-HP chips. The settlement applies only to 21 specific printer models. You're going to have to find out if yours is in there, but going to HP and search on that problem, leaving numerous other HP printers subject to dynamic security restrictions. HP has previously paid millions in similar cases in Europe, Australia, and California related to printer blocking. I say there's a much easier way. Don't buy HP.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. There are other printers that have chips, and they explain that the people that sell you the refilled cartridges or even in laser refill laser cartridges, they tell you how to take the chip out and put it on their refilled one. Apparently HP doesn't do that. So it's really bad. But and cartridge, and I mean original cartridge for any of the manufacturers is a lot more than a refilled one. I mean, I like Brother.
Yeah. I got a brother printer.
Yeah, and if you're going and buying an original Brother laser, it's probably in the 40s and $50 range. Some of them are more. But you go on Amazon or on eBay or whatever and you buy refilled, remanufactured cartridges, and you get three of them for $20. And I'll tell you, I've been doing this for years and years. I don't think maybe I had two of them, three of them that had a problem in a batch. And at this point, it's not worth sending it back or anything. It's so cheap. You just put them aside, get another one, and put it in there. But they work. And the way you find out which one, who to buy from, is whoever sells a lot of them. And it's not always the cheapest, but maybe another $2.
What did you say that you do? You buy already refilled?
I only buy refilled. I don't think I've ever bought an original cartridge for anything.
Mhm. 'Cause, I'm gonna have to do that probably in the next 6 months.
For the
Like, until
laser?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just keep looking. Go to Amazon and search for your model cartridges if it takes different ones. Some of them take uh toner and drum come in the same cartridge. Some of them you change the toner separately from the drum. You have to change, probably if you use it normally, you change 3 toner cartridges for one drum every time you change one drum. Uh, but you
Can a
can
laser can a laser printer be a color printer?
not
There are.
yours. There are, yeah, but not, you cannot just take your
No, no, no,
regular.
I know. But,
You can buy, I mean, yeah, I have one. I mean, it was real cheap. It was a
How
Dell.
many color prints do you need though?
Yeah.
That's
no,
when the economics start.
Yeah,
I don't use color.
that's an extra. That's when you have an extra printer that will sit there just waiting to print color. When you print black, like, documents, yeah, you can print them on the laser with just black, but it costs more, so you don't do that. But yeah, you could get. I mean, there's a this is a Dell.
That,
I think there are some other ones. They're like $250 for a
but Katie,
laser
wouldn't
print.
you be better off with just a label printer? Is the
No, I
amount of
have
print?
both.
Okay.
I've got, a label printer, and then I have my laser printer for the slips.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for documents and things like this, you need another printer. It's just black. It just has toner, not colored ones. Don't use. It's the same thing with when you have an inkjet that uses color. Yeah, you can print documents, but you're using just black ink, and that's why you would see that the black ink cartridge on uh, inkjets is bigger than the other 3 colors. So you have there are 3 color cartridges that are smaller and then big black because they figured that people are going to use black a lot more. But yeah, um, so yeah, that was the HP thing. Hopefully that'll be the end of that. And I came across this last night. IBM is laying off thousands of employees across the United States, with approximately 25% of staff at its Cloud Classic operation affected. Concrete numbers are being kept private. A source told the publication, and it is in the thousands. Staff reduction have occurred in Raleigh, North Carolina,
Mm.
New York, Dallas, Texas, and California. That's what the report says. Affecting departments including consulting, corporate social responsibility, cloud infrastructure, sales, and internal system teams. So they are downsizing big time.
I wonder if IBM's gonna sell or something. Usually when companies
Uh,
downsize,
Not
either
IBM.
they
Uh,
had a bad year or they're looking to sell.
yeah, IBM. I mean, they already sold what they thought was not uh, profitable. That, I mean, you see the Lenovo. Lenovo was the IBM ThinkPad, and they sold that whole IBM PC and stuff to China. And Talking about AI here, computer programming jobs in the US have declined by more than a quarter over the past 2 years, just in the last 2 years, placing the profession among the 10 hardest hit occupations of 420 plus jobs tracked by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and potentially signaling the first concrete evidence of artificial intelligence replacing workers. They said it'll never happen. Said, "Oh no,
Of course it'll happen.
we're not going to lose jobs. Don't worry." And yep, here it's coming. And Gal, update us. Now, we don't need to get into the nitty gritty details. Plex with their
Oh, yeah. They've announced that they're basically reducing what's available for free. Um, they're first of all, there's going to be a price increase. I think in a month, if I remember correctly.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So there's if you've been interested, if you've been paying for Plex a monthly fee and you think you're going to keep on paying, you enjoy what it gives you, take a look at the current rate for lifetime subscription because that is going to double. So I think from $120, $130, it's going to be $260. So almost double. They're going to increase from $5.99 to $6.99 a month. And they're introducing a viewer-only subscription, which is $2 or $3 a month for those who just consume through Plex from servers that are not run with a subscription. They have the Plex Pass subscription, which provides all of the feature of Plex. But if somebody's running a server with their free offering, if you want to view from that, then as a viewer, you will need to pay in order to watch. I was not clear whether that is for all platforms like web, TV, and mobile, or just for non-web. But in any way, it's a change because up until now they did not really uh, they did not charge anything from viewers at all. Now, what isn't going to change, and that's probably the more important part, if you're running a Plex server. If you're running a Plex server and you pay the subscription, or you paid for a lifetime subscription, nothing is going to change. The viewers of your server, they do not need to pay. They do not need an account that pays in order to view the content on your server that you invited them to watch.
Right. So don't worry, Katie.
Good.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. But it's a shift. It's an interesting shift. I wouldn't say it's too unexpected. I mean, they do need to make money.
Sure.
But at this point, if Plex is of interest to you, and you have ruled out the use of alternative free tools like Jellyfin, I would say you have a ticking clock here to purchase the lifetime subscription, which means you pay once and that's it, and you won't need to pay a monthly fee.
Right.
I've never really understood the I mean, I'm grateful that they offer a lifetime subscription because that means that whatever I paid 4, 5, maybe 6 years ago, right, has already uh, uh, I got the value out of it,
Oh,
right?
way
Even if
over.
even if they decide to to kick me out of the
Yeah.
system,
Yeah.
right? It's not that please don't, right? It's not a suggestion. But I've enjoyed the value, right? So um, I would say this is the time to consider the lifetime subscription because it is going to be painful to pay it next.
Yep. And like you said, if they did raise it on people like us that paid the lifetime,
Yeah,
and
I am not going to switch to any subscription model. That's just me. I do not trust subscription model, right? At all.
yeah,
I
but
pay subscriptions for some specific services that make sense to me, but if I'm hosting the media and I'm sharing it with friends,
right,
I am not going to pay a subscription model,
right,
right?
right,
Uh,
absolutely.
not for that. Now, my alternatives is to switch to Jellyfin.
That's what I was going to
That
say.
means that whoever views content from my server, which is a few family and friends, right? I
Mhm.
don't. Um, Truth be told, there was a specific time where I had about 40 separate users, right, with approximately 4 to 5 active streams all the time, and I hated it, right?
Why?
Because it meant that this is a production server that I need to worry if it's down.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Suddenly I became this service provider for free for my friends.
yeah.
Um, Luckily to me, that server crashed. Like I had like an outage that took a lot of energy for me to repair, and for about 2 months, I didn't have a Plex server, not even for myself, which was
Yeah.
like, and I when I repaired it, it's like I had to create a new instance anyway and stuff like that. Like I needed to build everything from scratch. I did not re-invite all of my friends, right? Because I did not want to deal with that anymore.
Mhm.
Uh, and so, yes, family still has access.
Right.
They haven't been using it widely anyway. They've been using it very, very sporadically. I got 2 friends that have been using it regularly, but they're in great contact, uh, and my my relationship with them is not only around the Plex
Yeah.
server. So I have no problem, right? And so once it was back to normal, uh, then it made total sense. And I keep
But
using Plex even though it's not the open source solution, it's not the free solution, is because they are reasonable in their pricing. That's my take on it up until now. Now it's going to be actually rather expensive. I mean, again, the monthly fee is going to be $6 or $7 a month. It's not a huge expense if it makes sense to you. But again, sharing your own media with your friends and getting a service from Plex, like I have a problem with a monthly subscription.
you did try Jellyfin for a while.
Yes, and when I tried it, it had it had some issues, but mostly works, and it's evolving. It's very active. It's evolving all the time. Jellyfin has a disadvantage. The main disadvantage is it is not everywhere, right? With Plex, it, I don't care what brand of TV you have or whether you're gonna watch from a gaming console. You do not need like something that you need to sideload an app. It'll just work. You have a Roku TV, great, it'll work. You have Firefox TV, it'll work. You want to watch from a browser, great, it'll work.
Mhm.
With Jellyfin, it's limited. There's There's the iOS and Android apps, and there's the browser, and that's about it, right? So
So but they are working on it.
as for clients for every type of smart TV, I don't think so.
Oh,
Remember, they are not a for-profit. Uh,
okay.
I think they created a non-profit organization around it just to get the um, donations to run some infrastructure, but
Okay.
there's no centralized
I mean,
authentication
let
like there is with Plex, right? There's no running cost for Jellyfin other than the development, which is a lot, but it's developed by volunteers.
it depends a lot on what you want to watch. If you want entertainment, then Plex has a lot. They have tens of thousands of
You're talking about the
movies
free
and
content.
content. So, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah, but
think
I'm focusing only on the personal media sharing.
right now, even if they raise the price to 250 lifetime, it is still
Yeah, but
a
it's a tougher frog to swallow,
yeah. I
right?
understand. I
Yeah.
agree, but it's also something that you would be paying other providers $250 probably with
I mean,
less than a year.
remember, we're talking about somebody who's running a server, right? So running a server incurs an expense already,
Yeah,
right? And
don't
and
we know it?
yeah, I mean, there's power,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And when you're building it, there's the initial cost. You want large disks and probably multiple disks to make it resilient.
yeah.
Um, and so paying 250, the multiplication right now of the 250 compared to the monthly, right, makes the monthly an easier frog to swallow, because you'll need to run that server successfully for about 3 years, I think, to make it break even. Uh, when I paid, it was about a year and a half,
Hmm.
right? And when friends of mine, when they jumped the wagon early on, it was less than a year. So uh, so it all depends, right,
Yeah. What
on what type of investment. If you're serious about it, yeah, hell yeah, go with it. I would say start with Jellyfin though, right? If you're starting on right now, start with Jellyfin, because
if and again we're talking
if
does
you're not spoiled sort of, right, by features, right, and Jellyfin is enough, then yeah, start there.
and this is where you're not talking about run a server, but just for watching as a
No, I'm
viewer.
talking about running a server.
No, but
I
most
will
people,
invite anyone to watch on my server because that will be free.
I understand. But what I'm saying is, you can go to Plex today and set up an account and watch their content on the web
Okay, you can
or
go to Plex today and watch it without an account. You can start watching without an account.
okay, but you
You can
can
create an account and it'll still remain free if you watch their ad-supported
right.
content.
So
That that stays the same.
you don't. I mean, if you want to cut the cord, you don't have to run a server. Most people will not run a server because they don't
True,
want to do
because
that.
then you need to get the content somehow.
Well,
Running the
then you get
server means pirating. Let's be honest, right?
a lot of
Running the
it. Yeah,
server means
yeah,
means pirating the content, or if you're not talking about pirating, then you're talking about setting up a live TV uh, receiver
yeah.
and a hard drive to record, right?
Right.
So it'll replace the old TiVo setup, basically, right?
Yeah.
What TiVo created in
So you can
late
do
90s.
it. There are different options.
Yes.
Yeah. That was what the point I was trying to make is don't be intimidated by the
I mean,
technical.
Plex as a service is great. I think there are other services that that are probably more convenient. Let's put it this way: if you have Roku or if you have Fire TV, right, then you don't need Plex for the free content because they already
Right.
provide pretty much the same free content through their own ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't even need to install something or get. But if you're connected to somebody's server, first of all, if they're paying for the server or paid for the server, then you do not need to pay.
Right.
Okay. That hasn't changed and that remains the same. And so, like, my friends and family, it's not changing their reality if I am the only thing they're consuming through Plex.
And it's not because you have to pay more to Plex. It's because it stays. It doesn't change anything. It's
As
like
long as I am a paid subscriber,
right.
then yeah,
It's
that doesn't
think about
change.
it this way. You're in your house and you have water and you have electricity and a friend of yours is uh lost their electricity or water, whatever, they can come in and you help them. You give them water, and the lights are there, and they you maybe pay a couple of bucks more, but it's no big deal. That it's sort of like that. There's no subscription, no added every time you add a user, a friend.
No,
There's
that never
no
was.
right.
Yeah, that was never an
Well,
issue. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, but I
The
mean,
analogy
people.
isn't good, but because what you're talking about are they're all consumption subscriptions, right?
Yeah.
Water, electricity, etc. But yeah, but
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you run the I was worried in the beginning because I was worried about bandwidth. You have 10 people watching your s- content on your server. Boy, that's going to take a lot of No, it's not. When you
first of
explain.
all, to get 10 people
I know.
to actually
I,
watch, you need to have probably 100 people invited,
I'm just
right?
making a
That's
point
the
here.
first thing.
Yeah.
So nobody's inviting 100
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's one.
So
The
yeah,
the
it's
headache that this introduces is just phenomenal.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So at the beginning, it was fun because I saw usage of the server, but nobody wants that type of hassle. Not really.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how friendly you are.
All right. Uh Before we end, there's one more important thing here to talk about. Again, viruses, malware. Trend Micro uncovered an 8-year-long spying campaign exploiting a Windows vulnerability involving malicious .lnk shortcut files,
Okay.
which attackers padded with white spaces to conceal commands. Despite being reported to Microsoft in 2023, the company considers it a UI issue rather than a security risk and has not prioritized a fix. The attack method is low tech but effective, relying on malicious .lnk shortcut files rigged with commands to download malware, while appearing to point to legitimate files or executables. These shortcuts quietly include extra instructions to fetch or unpack and attempt to run malicious payloads. Originally, the shortcut's target and command line arguments would be clearly visible in Windows, making suspicious commands easy to spot. But Trend's Zero Day Initiative says it observed North Korea backed crews padding out the command line arguments with megabytes of white space, burying the actual command deep out of sight in the user interface. So they figured how to take something and you say, oh, there's nothing here. It's fine. But then if you scroll down, 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 which people don't do, you'll see a command. And I don't know, I don't remember using an LNK shortcut, and I guess it means a link.
Yeah, it's just a shortcut.
Yeah.
LNK is the extension for all shortcuts on
Yeah. You
Windows.
see, I don't have those. I never created shortcuts for.
I mean, the problem is so when you download Microsoft, when you download on the Microsoft system, I think, Mac does something similar. When you download an app, then when you try to execute it,
Mhm.
it'll tell you, I don't know where you brought this app from. It came from the internet. Are you sure? Right?
Mhm.
Like there's that prompt when you're trying to start something that you downloaded from the. I mean, even if you open a zip file, it'll tell you that the zip file came from a network connection. So probably what happens here is with the LNK that doesn't happen. And basically, if you download the shortcut, you shouldn't run it, right? It doesn't matter what. You shouldn't download shortcuts. Shortcuts are stuff that you create locally,
Right. You
right? That
create
come
them.
with an installed application. But here, if you download it, there's probably no check on it or something, or even if there is a check, it's easy to disregard and it doesn't show what it's doing. So yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Bad.
remember that.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's it for today. Anything else anybody wants to add?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Well, it looks like a nice day outside.
Yeah, I need to open up all the windows and clean my house.
There you go. Which is fine. We have a few nice days that you can open windows. There's no pollen outside yet.
Yeah, I gotta get in before the
Yeah.
pollen and then
Yep.
before the humidity.
Yep.
There's only like a week of window.
Yeah. Yep. Well, all right. So thanks, Katie. Thanks, Gal. Nick, I hope you're having fun. And Spence, if you're listening, I hope it's getting a little warmer. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Dana, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together here. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. And change any same passwords wherever you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT in Charlotte, 11:10 a.m. and 99.3 FM, and it's also on YouTube. Nick does his own show, the Nick Craig Show, from 7 till 8 every day, weekdays. Just go to nickcraig.com and get the information there. And Nick and Brian host the Infection podcast for years now on Twitch. And that is for survival games, gaming news, and some political points here and there. Again, go to infectionpodcast.com and get the information when to listen and what time. Again, have a great week, and we'll be back together next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.